Hi Ben and Ryan, it's a point on a bank holiday Monday afternoon and first clean sheet of the season. How important was that?
Very, very important. I think if you'd have said at the start of the day or yesterday when we were contemplating in terms of defensive area and what we had available in regards to some of the recent injuries that we've picked up, you'd have said to me that we'd have probably our best defensive performance today, I probably would have laughed at you. I just think because of we were putting people in positions that we probably didn't want to. We had to make a bit of a change to our shape to allow that. So obviously that was pleasing to see get a clean sheet. A side that have always done well in this league. They've been in the playoff final 2 out of 3 the last 3 seasons. So it's always a tough game against HANWORTH. They're a very well organised side, hard to beat. So it's a good point, I think. But in regards to the defensive performance and the clean sheet, I think that's the most pleasing thing of today.
You said to me before the game, we were kind of going through where we were in the centre half, centre back position. We've got kind of 1 out of a possible 3 or 4 that's actually fit.
Yeah, listen, we at the start of the season, we had 4 that were fit and healthy to play, and we're kind of picking 2 of that 4. We let 1 go out on loan to leave us with the spare 1 for an injury, and we've suddenly found ourselves a couple of weeks later with 1 to pick from 4. So we've had a difficult time in that position. Listen, these things happen. Off the back of Saturday, we couldn't replace anybody in regards to signings because it was so close and being a bank holiday, and that's why you've obviously seen a bit of a change of shape and a couple of boys having to do a job that they probably aren't used to, but I thought they coped with it very, very well. And I think a big part of that was the one fit one that we had in Nikolai. You say he's fit, he's still at 50%. He's playing through an injury. I thought he was outstanding today, and I think it was so important that he had a good game to make that potentially disjointed back 3 that we had today play well. So the credit has to go to him because I think he was a big part of why we were so good defensively today.
Ryan, it was a game of a few chances. I don't think really HANWORTH had any, and we had a handful of that. Thoughts on firepower, lack of for us up front, creating?
Yeah, I think I spoke to the management as they come off, and I think both teams have been off the back of poor results, and it was about being sort of dogged today, and it wasn't pleasing, wasn't nice to watch, and wasn't very pleasing in the eye, but it was about getting through today, and picking up some points on the board for both teams. I think I'm right in what I'm about to say, that we could have been out there now for another half an hour, 60 minutes, and I don't think either team would have scored. I think there was, for us, we lacked quality in the final third at times. We didn't create many clear-cut chances, but we had a lot of set pieces, and that's something we need to kind of maybe look at again and be a bit more clever and creative with that to potentially get us goals, not only just from open play but also, like I said, from set pieces, because we were so effective like we were against South Park on Saturday. It's just something we need to look at. We've got to look at the right combinations maybe in the final third, and also got to look at the quality going into the final third at times, and recognising what areas to hit. And listen, we've got a couple of weeks now, which would be quite nice to get back to the drawing board, get to the training ground and start to implement some of those ideas.
So as you said, we've got almost 2 weeks off now, so we played Littlehampton on Sunday week in the FA Trophy. Given our injury situation, how important is that? Because could you have arranged a game this Saturday when we should have been playing?
It will still be something that we are looking at, because obviously we've got a few bodies that haven't played many minutes, and they deserve a chance. And I think where Ryan's saying there, we're looking at combinations and looking at the top end of the pitch. It could be a good chance for us to get ourselves a friendly and give a few people a bit of a chance, try a couple of things. Obviously, we'll manage the bodies that need managing. But in regards to the break, obviously it's it's going to be key for us just to have a little bit of a reset, have a bit of a a wind down, and make sure that we've got a few players that are nursing a few knocks to have a bit of a rest. Because this top part of the season, everyone kind of can't wait for it to start, but it hits you like a whirlwind. Your Saturday, Tuesday, Sunday FA Cup games, away games. We've had a couple of journeys, so yeah, this break will do us good. Both kind of on the pitch in regards to looking at little things and combinations and bits of shape and detail, but also just off the pitch in regards to Sophie managing a few of the injuries that we've got.
finally got to mention the crowd again. Their home support was terrific.
Yeah.
I think you could tell that when I think we came out, you know, at the start of the game and we were walking out. Obviously, it was a lovely day and it felt like it was a good crowd. I don't know what it was.
310.
310. And listen, that's, you know, there's probably people that weren't really going to expect that, you know, those type of crowds once we've come down to step 4. But it's a credit to, you know, the fans. They've come out. You could see there was, you know, it felt like a good atmosphere. At the end of the game, you know, the players got a good applause, and you know, they went and said their thank yous, which is always, you know, we make sure that they do that all the time. And listen, it's very easy for people to switch off when you haven't had a good start. So to get 310, you know, behind us today was really important. We appreciate that a lot.